Good morning, Frugal friends. I have a really special treat for you today. I've asked my kids to help me with this video. My original intent was to talk about some very deliberate and intentional ways that my husband and I tried to avoid materialism with our kids and to be frugal in growing up. Not that we aren't that way ourselves, but we were also very deliberate in that. One of the authors that I really appreciate is Amy Decision of Tightwad Gazette fame. In the 90s, she did a newsletter by the same name. She had an article called Creative Deprivation that really stuck with me. And the basic premise is that even when we can afford to give our kids or ourselves more, there are reasons not to do that. So, along that line, I was going to just do a video about ways that we did that, and I thought, well, I really need to ask my kids what they thought of it, because that will be the next question, right? Like, did they appreciate growing up that way? Did they hate it? Did we destroy them? So I did ask them, and apparently I gave two separate sets of directions because their videos are a little bit different, but the basic things that I asked them to do was to give me 2 or 3 different ways that or different things that they appreciated about growing up with a frugal mama or in a frugal household, and then talk about at least one way that they didn't like what happened, or they didn't appreciate it, something that was negative about growing up frugal. So they have helped me with these videos. I told them to keep it under 2 minutes, so they're pretty short. So I really hope that you enjoy what they had to say. I know I did. And next video will be about ways that my husband and I were very intentional about that. So enjoy. Thanks. Bye.
Hi. So 2 things I really liked about having a frugal mama growing up. One is that it took away any stigma that might be associated with shopping secondhand. We always did growing up, and I still do now, and I love it. The thrill of the hunt, it's so much fun. And I will usually check secondhand before I'll buy new. And then second is the perspective it gave me about growing up, or having my own family now. So now I have a son and a baby on the way, and growing up with a frugal mom really highlighted the fact that you don't need a lot of stuff to have a happy childhood. And it's very easy to sort of fall into thinking that, I think, because of just how culture is. Like, oh, if you're not taking your kid to Disney every year or buying them all the newest, most expensive toys, they're not going to be happy. And that just isn't the case. But I think I might feel that pressure more if I hadn't grown up the way I did. And then one thing that is not so great is that sometimes it can be really hard to know a reasonable price for something, or to spend money when you have to spend money. I will say I've gotten better at it, but especially when I first left home, sometimes things would just feel so expensive, and I wouldn't be able to tell if that was a reasonable price for them or not, because I was so used to getting things really cheap. So yeah, those are my 3 things. Love you, Mom.
Well, 3 things that I liked. Got my notes right here about being frugal, or I don't know if I liked them growing up, but things that I value was it made me into a do-it-yourself kind of person. So I feel like when I come and look at a project, my first instinct isn't usually, well, can I pay someone to do this? It's, can I actually do this? Can I figure it out myself? Which saved us a lot of money. It helped me feel prepared to be an adult at some level, I guess, where you are conscious of how the actual cost of things, and that translates well. And I guess that kind of pairs with a third reason, which is it taught me the value of money growing up frugal. Like, there was no point in my life where I didn't understand that you had to work to get something. It just never felt like handouts were something that were owed to me. And the thing I didn't like, or I don't like about it, was now I feel guilty anytime I buy something that wasn't on sale or a good deal or something.
Okay, 3 things I liked about growing up frugal. I learned the value of the dollar, how much you can get with a dollar, how far you can stretch a dollar. It made high price points get put in the right place. And low price points didn't seem like we were skimping on anything of value, if that makes sense. My second point that I liked growing up frugal was I learned where to shop cheap. So we learned that secondhand shops exist and that you should be shopping there most of the time, and where all the cheaper food stores were, like Aldi or stores like that where you could get cheaper food. I've been using that to this day. And then third, it taught me that I shouldn't value things. Because we never were going out and buying just things to have things and living frugally, it ingrained in me as a child that I shouldn't be searching for things. I should be searching for other stuff. I think the one thing that impacted me the most negatively growing up frugally was I was afraid to ask for stuff because I always assumed we wouldn't get it because we lived so frugally. We didn't buy that much stuff. If I wanted something, I wouldn't be able to get it. So that wormed its way into me just being afraid to ask for anything in general, which I definitely know my parents didn't want from me, but I think that was an after effect of it. So.
Hello, Mom, and thankful and thrifty followers. My name's Lee. I'm the youngest of the 4 children, and the 2 reasons I have is that it's taught me how to save money. With my mom being a very frugal and thrifty mom, taught me how to penny pinch and all those other things, and I've used that every day in my life for my whole life, even when I was a kid up until being married. And the other thing, oh yes, it taught me a deep appreciation for money. I think a lot of people today just don't understand money or are scared of it, and knowing that you can save money and have control over it and it doesn't have to control you, I think that was a lesson. Maybe not, my mom didn't say every day in my life, money doesn't control you, but those principles definitely were instilled in me, and that shaped the course of my life, being able to do that. It's also fun. This is an extra one. 2B also taught me that debt isn't a good thing, and you don't want debt. And I'm trying to live my life that way too, because I know how money operates and how it works in the world. And the one thing that growing up with a frugal mom that I didn't like, morning moos, curds and whey. Oh man, that stuff was nasty. It was like a 50-pound bag of milk byproduct that Mom used as milk powder. I don't know what happened to those bags, but I am glad they're gone. Sometimes you make it. I like powdered milk, don't get me wrong, but you doggy, not a good thing. So I didn't like that growing up, and I still don't. I would never drink that ever again in my life. But those are the things.
Morning moves, you guys. It was disgusting. You win some, you lose some. Lee's right. Don't buy morning moves. I don't know. Maybe some of you drink it, but we couldn't handle it. It was just really gross. It's something that has stuck with them because it was nasty. Just nasty. Bye.